welcome back to the channel. Shout out to everybody that takes the time to watch my videos. But I want to say 82% of you guys watching the videos are not subscribed, so do me a big old favor, reach over and smash that like button, leave a comment, tell me what you think about the channel. All right, okay gang, we're gonna go ahead and start putting Mad Dog back together. I want to start with the front end first. Let's go ahead and grab the triple tree and clean this thing up. That's all it really needs, is a good cleaning. And let's get the front wheel going, and then we'll work our way to the back. Okay gang, went ahead and drug out the motor too. It needs a good cleaning, and might as well kill two birds with one stone. Now I got some easy off oven cleaner, works a little bit better than the greases, so we're gonna get this thing sprayed up and pressure washed off and get this assembly on the road today. So I shook it up pretty good already, so all we're gonna do is spray them down, wash them down.
Yeah, you feel that? Kid, please. You're gonna make my soul into Swiss cheese. Nah. Yo, when the world feels dreary and cold and people trying to shoot holes in your ethereal soul, acting nasty like some bacterial mold, whatever happens, let it go and people flapping their gums. It's hard to listen when you feel more broke than the two-party system, but love them where you at.
This oven cleaner is way stronger than I thought it was. I guess it does say heavy duty. Yeah, I say that because it ate the color right off the muffler. The anodized color, it kind of started eating it off the shock, so thank God I didn't put too much of a cut on there. We'll probably just have to paint those at a later date. No big dealio, but yeah, it's straight eating. Man, I thought I was done with painting, but I went and screwed it up with some oven cleaner. They did a bigger number on these shocks than I thought they did. That's what they looked like before I sprayed them, and man, it ate it up. I mean, it even ate up the fake accumulators. And I might have to do something about the aluminum on here, because it kind of left a residue. I'm hoping that's just the residue, I can wipe it off. But yeah, I got to paint all these bits and put it back together. See the fake accumulator on the shocks? Yeah. Yep, just for looks. Alright, no big dealio. I'm gonna go. I got plenty of orange paint left. Well gang, things didn't go as planned this morning because of the oven cleaner debacle, but we taking care of it. Kind of wanted to have that front end put back together this morning before I went to work, but oh well. I went ahead and painted the engine shrouds. Now I'm just using Rust-Oleum. After a while this paint will flake back off. I have to do it again, but it is what it is. It's custom, you know. Okay, the forks are done. They look pretty good. Got 3 layers of paint and some clear on it. I just got a little bit of touch up to do right there, but other than that, they look fine. So let's go ahead and pull this battery box and get all this back on. Well, sweet baby Jesus, it is already hot up in this mug, man. I swear it's like 7:15, 7:20, and it's like 90 some degrees already. Move to the desert, they said. It'll be fun, they said. All right, anyway, check this out. Now I noticed, I didn't mention it, but I did notice when I took this wheel apart that the sensor for the speedo was broken, because the speedo never did work in this bike, and I wasn't sure why. But now I know. So that's what it's supposed to look like. I found this thing on Amazon for like what, $8-9. So hopefully it works and fixes that issue. But yeah, you can tell it was out of adjustment and it just simply got ate up. So all right, let's go ahead and get this wheel on. Where was it? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I got the rotor on, so we're gonna go ahead and get the wheel put on, and then we're gonna move to the handlebars. Oh nope, I need to put the battery tray on next. That's what we're gonna do.
From a long way away, I'll take risks. Swing round that corner, I can't miss. I can't go back, I can't switch. I can't go back, I can't switch. Coming up, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The wheel is on. I hadn't tightened it up all the way because I don't know, for some reason I think I might have to adjust on something. Now I'll put that speed sensor in. I got it about a half of a quarter of an inch close to these little magnets there. So I don't know how close it has to be. We'll figure it out once we get the speedo and get the bike up and running. But all right, go ahead and put this battery tray on real quick. The wiring harness is on along with the front part of the battery box. I got the fender just laying here, as you guys can see. I went ahead and finished it off camera. Looking real good. It's just sitting there right now because I can't remember how these mounts for the fender go. I know they go on like that, but where in the heck does it bolt to? I don't remember. And I also managed to lose 2 of the screws that go here on this side, just like these. So yeah, I gotta look for those. All right guys, I managed to manhandle the engine back here and put it on the table. So just for me doing that all alone without throwing my back out, I think I earned a like from you guys. So just throw a like up on there, you know, comment, everything, share, subscribe, the whole deal.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
All right, got a little debacle here, guys. I ordered the wrong engine shroud. I ordered the one for the head that doesn't have the smog tube in it. And I don't know, man, it's late in the game. I do not feel like waiting on another one to come in, so I think the only solution I have right now is to cut the one that I have and just make it work. So all right, gotta be more careful. Pay attention, man. Pay attention. Details.
Make a beat with just your mouth when you know nothing about drums.
All right, took care of that problem, gang. That wasn't that bad. Just a little notch in it, and everything fits fine now. All right, well, I don't have the little rubber that goes around the head, and nor did it come, well, nor was it on the old engine, so that's something else I'm going to have to order. We'll do that at a later date. Let's just get the bike together right now. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it back over. Let's get the side cover on real quick, and then we can mount it, you know what I mean? So where is, there we go. Yes. Yeah, oh, line up, no whammies, no whammies. There shouldn't be any problems with this because these are pretty much all the same for the side covers. Now you'll run into different styles of engine shrouds on the front, top and bottom half, but these are always the same for the side pieces. So all right, let me just get some bolts started. Get these in here first, and we'll do the other ones. So none of y'all was gonna sit here and tell me that I forgot to put the fan back on the motor, huh? I'm just gonna sit here and watch me put this shroud on, and nobody, I mean nobody mentioned, hey man, you didn't put your fan on. But you know, that's okay. I see how you guys want to do it. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. All right, well, luckily one of us is paying attention, and it wasn't me, so. All right, guys, go ahead and get this fan on and get the shroud on, and then the hard part begins. You gotta manhandle this sucker back up there to get it bolted back on. So, yeah. All right, I got the engine reattached. I just got the one bolt on the mount end. The exhaust has been painted, and the shock absorber. I went ahead and painted the gold parts orange. I left the black alone. So let's go ahead and get this shock on, get this thing jacked up, and then put our exhaust on, and I guess clean our carburetor and start wiring this thing up. All right, check out the shock, guys. I am probably not going to be keeping this shock. I just painted it up, you know, for purposes of this video right here. But here's the exhaust unwrapped. I mean, looks just like it did before, you know. And it's not permanent either. We're probably going to be running this exhaust here that I found at the junkyard. So, you know, it's a slip-on, so I need a whole new header pipe. So we get that, we'll run that different pipe. But all right, guys, now, yeah, like I said, this is probably not the shock I'm going to be running. I think the shock that was on this bike is this one. I'm not sure, I can't remember if, or it could have came off the other Mad Dog. But yeah. All right, guys, now I'm going to go ahead and spin this hub by hand and run the sandpaper over it. See, can we just brighten it back up from that oven cleaner debacle? So let's get that going. Well, it polished it up a little bit, you know. I'll probably get better result with the engine running and not my old hand crank over here trying to spin this thing, because this thing just wore me out, guys. So, all right, we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's just go ahead and crack open this carburetor and see how bad it is real quick. Ooh, well, look at this, guys. We got one of those carburetors with the snap-off studs on the bottom. So, all right. Guess I'm gonna have to break out the Dremel. Oh, Dremel's already here. I'm gonna have to break out the cutting wheel for the Dremel and cut some notches in this sucker and pull this bowl off. All right, guys. Well, I thought I turned my time lapse on, but I did not. So, all right. I don't know if you can see it, but I already cut the slits in the little breakaway studs with my Dremel. And of course, I have my face shield on. Well, safety is key, guys. You only get one set of eyeballs, all right? Well, at this present time and day, you only get one set. So, all right, now that I got the slit in, I should be able to just take my screwdriver and break these loose, but I'm going to need a bigger one. Well, that one came loose. I'm going to show you what these things look like. Now, what you want to do, once you get these things cut, you can put them back in. But if you strip out that flathead little divot you just cut in it, you're going to be in trouble. So I would just replace them right off the bat, you know. Go to the hardware store, match something up, just replace it. Save yourself a little bit of a headache. So let's see if we can get them all off. That one comes off real easy. And the neighbors in the backyard yelling at each other again, as usual. So everything is normal. Everything is normal. All right, I'm gonna need a bigger screwdriver for these two. All right, I'm getting the last screw out of here now. Had to fire the old Dremel back up and dig just a little bit deeper, man. This thing was in here tight. So, all right, guys, let's crack the bowl and see what it looks like. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. All right, so let's pull these jets out real quick. I got the screwdriver for one. I'm gonna have to get a wrench for the other one. Let's pull out the pilot jet. And your pilot jet is the smaller jet here that sits down a little bit lower. So the first one I'm pulling out. Man, that thing isn't stuck. All right. There you go. Come on out of there. Now, somebody responded on the last video about a pilot jet. I gotta get back to him. I was in the middle of driving when I saw the message come across the screen of my phone. So, all right. Check that out. Now that is gummed up, guys. Can't see no daylight through that. And these pilot jets are pretty small from the factory. Since we know this carburetor has never been touched, I think I'm going to go ahead and it's a 35. I might just go ahead and just up jet this a little bit, because you know they do run kind of lean from the factory. So yeah, I'm not even gonna waste my time with that one. or that one. We're just going to replace it. I really don't see any need to throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner or anything, because let's say, besides the smell of varnish, inside of this carburetor looks pretty good. So let me get my jets out. We're just going to replace on them and slap it back on. Then we got to clean that nasty gas tank out. Okay, gang, I'm going to replace our pilot jet, which was this little guy right here. It's kind of short to be a pilot jet in a 150, but oh well. It's getting changed out. I'm going for the longer style. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. But all right, this was a 35. I'm changing it out with a 38. Now here's our main jet. And I don't know what size it is because they stamped it right down on the edge, so I can't tell, but it's not clogged up at all. You know, you can see daylight through it. I don't see no cruddies in there or nothing. And the emulsion tube, I'm hoping I'm saying this right. The emulsion tube, you know, it's clean and clear. No chunkies in there. It has little holes on each side. It's like 4 on this side and 4 on that side. And I'm thinking what it does, don't quote me because I don't know. It just mixes the air and the fuel, maybe. I don't know. You know, injects air into the gas. I don't know what it does. Okay, gang. I got a carburetor in my stash box that have the changed out screws. You know, from these studs here to these. I got these ones here at Lowe's, guys. And all I did was took down the screws with the snap off heads down there and matched them up, you know, for thread wise. And swap them out. So it's just that easy. So all right, I'm gonna get these things plugged in, and then we're gonna go ahead and try to finish up the wiring on the Mad Dog and try to get this thing on the road today. Okay, got the carburetor reinstalled. The electric choke is plugged up. The stator is almost plugged up. I gotta go get some new bullet connectors because I remember when I was taking the engine off, they just broke off. So I might have some in the box behind me. I gotta look.
One eternity later.
All right, gang, it's time to get back on the Mad Dog. It's been about 2 weeks since I touched the bike, man. All kind of distractions, heat, rain, everything, just name it. All right, so we're gonna pick up right where we left off. Got to finish the wiring harness, drain the gas tank, and essentially just fire this thing up. Now I am going to have to work with the ignition because the ignition that came with the bike, it's a little funny, you know, sometimes it'll run, sometimes it won't. Something's wrong inside. I have a Honda Ruckus one, but it's a little long, so I got to figure that out real quick, and then we're just going to keep on plugging away. Let's try to finish this bike up right here in this video. Okay, gang, I decided to go ahead and work on the ignition real quick because that's the last part of the wiring harness that needed to be addressed. Here is the old ignition box, and something is screwy going on back here. I remember now cutting the wires off. It looked just like these, and using them for something else. You know what? No, I remember exactly where I cut them off of. I put them onto my Honda Ruckus ignition, because here they are right there. So yeah, and I'm the one that did that horrible job, so yep, I'm owning it. All right, let's do this the right way. This is the original ignition box that came from this Mad Dog. Tell by the long little steering lock shank right there. So this is the one we pulled from the Salvage Emporium when I went and did the VIP OS, the custom blue, green, well, blue, green, and gray VIP. A couple videos back, go check it out. But yeah, I pulled this one from that one out the salvage yard, And I decided, I said, well, since I have the key for this one, let's just take out the lock cylinder, which is this one, and put it in this one. Now, it's really easy to do if you have the key, like I have the key for this one. But this one that came out of this body, I did not have the key. But it's really not hard. So basically, let me put this without dropping all my little keyways. And now, I don't know if they call them keyways. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been a locksmith. So, all right, guys, check this out. We have one, and all of my little keyways here have been taken out, right? So I don't know if you can see, but they fit in here in a certain way. See that little hook there? That little piece lands on top of a spring that helps it bounce up and down. So basically they go in, one goes this way, hook facing me, and the other one would go the other way, hook facing the other way. Now guys, if you have a ignition you don't have a key for, but you got a key, it's pretty easy to make it fit your own key if you got one or more ignition pieces, right? Now if you have one of these little lock cylinders and you got a key, just make sure it matches like how these two match, and all you gotta do is stick your key in. This thing had like a lock screw that went in right here on this side, that locks the cylinder here into here, right? So you pull that out. This is up under this plate that goes in here. So yeah, you just basically you pull this piece out, and there's a screw under it. All right, now if you got the key, you just stick it in there. There's a certain way you have to turn this thing, because as you can see, there's like a rectangle like slot here, and the ignition here would actually have to be turned that same way, because that rectangle slot right here for that to slide out is right here. You'd have to turn it that way and it'll pull straight out. Now if you don't have the key, now this is not for you guys trying to steal bikes. If you're trying to steal bikes, you're gonna get caught. I'm putting that mojo on you right now. You're gonna get caught, you're going to jail, and they might do things to you. All right, so don't steal bikes. So if you don't have the key, like I don't have the key that fits this one, all these little keyways, some people call them tumblers, I don't remember, it's been years, they'll be sticking up, and they'll be sticking up like right, let me see, right up here in this area, right? Now they can get lodged, I don't know if you guys can see that, a little cross pattern. The tops of these and the bottoms, if the key is not right, they will protrude. They will protrude in this area, this area, this area, or that area, right? So what you got to do, and here's a zip tie, is how I got this one out. Slide the zip tie on both sides to make all these little keyways compress back inside of this cylinder, right? So once they compress back inside that cylinder, you can take a screwdriver or any key and turn the cylinder inside of here, and turn it and get it to where this little, I don't know if you can tell, but it makes a rectangle shape when you look at it on the end. This little shape, I'll pull it out of here, show you better, that's what we can do. So basically you have this shape, and it has to fit through there, right? It won't fit that way, so see, we turn it up that way, and when you key in, you can't pull that thing out, so you have to turn it to the right position to pull it out. So there it is there, guys. I mean, and if you want to re-key one to fit a key that you have that will fit inside the cylinder, that's really not hard either. You just slide these little keyways in, and if you guys know the proper term, because I have forgotten, drop it in the comments. But you see how it's sticking out here? Focus, focus. Okay, see that? You can kind of see how they're sticking out, right? And then if I push it all the way in, it kind of sticks out the bottom. This GoPro does not want to act right today. Kind of see that? It pokes out the bottom. So now this key might bring them all in. I don't know. So let's see. You can see they're sticking out the top and they drop in on the top. But there's one that's slightly up. That'll be a problem. But on the bottom side, they're in. So, okay, so we know the very first one is going to work. So what we do, we pull it out. Let's find a different keyway. Now you do not have to use them all to rekey an ignition cylinder to your key. You do not have to use them all. So, because like I say, they're all cut differently, you know. All these little pieces are cut different. It's hard to see, but this one here is a little longer on the bottom than this one here, you know, and they're a little different size on the top. So it's hard to tell, but it's ever so slightly different. So let's see. Let's pull this one out since it didn't work on the top. I just want to show you guys two of them. You get it. And you can just mix and match these things until you can get one that'll work with all 7 keyways. Heck, you can use one. You can use 5 of them, 4 of them, 3 of them. You don't have to use them all. But just make sure you take out the little springs that the little hook right here sits on. See that little hook that sticks off? Make sure you take out the little spring that sits on that little hooked part that sticks out on that side. If not, it'll fall down in the cylinder and jam it up, and you'll have a bad time. So, all right, we stuck another one in there. Let's try to see if that's going to cover it. Almost, but see it jump right back up at the last second, right? So we can just go and get another one, and we'll just, you know, swap them out until we can find one that works all the way down. Let's try this one because it looks to be slightly shorter than the other one. But you got to work on both sides now. It could work on the top and stick out on the bottom. So that's why locksmiths get paid good money, guys. I just decided not to keep going with it because I found something making way more money. Now look, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see it, but my keyways are up, right? And I put them in, they drop out. And you see there's none out the bottom. It's completely flat, completely flat. So that's how you rekey a cylinder, guys. I mean, I'm gonna put all these in a bag. I'm gonna save them for another ignition style like this. This is not, you know, exclusive to the Mad Dog. There are other ignitions like this, you know. I've had one on a couple different bikes, and they usually all look the same. They look just like that, and they'll have a plate that bolts on them, you know. So there it is, guys. That's how to rekey an ignition if you don't have the key to fit the key that you do have that will fit in the cylinder. All right, so let me bang this thing together, and we're going to drain that gas tank and get this Mad Dog back together. All right, gang, got the ignition back together. I went ahead and greased it up before I put it in. This is not the right grease, but it'll work. Best grease is the white lithium spray grease, you know, or spray lubricant, or you can put grease in it. It don't matter, you know. But look, it works good. Our steering lock comes out, goes back in, off position, key comes out, on a position, key stays in. So here it is, guys. Do not be afraid of doing ignition work. It's really easy, really easy. That's why I suggest you guys on your homes get a sliding lock latch on your door, because, you know, some type of locking bar, because you guys just don't know how easy it is for somebody to get into your house with a paper clip, and I'm not even playing. If you knew how easy it was to get into your house with a piece of metal off the side of the street, you'll start locking your houses up better. But anyway, off of that subject, so I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the ignition up now, plug it up, and let's go drain the gas tank and put it in, and let's basically get this thing running. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the bike running. All right, I'm out. Alright gang, if this ain't one thing, it's another. Hooking the carb back up, and I went to go hook the throttle cable onto the carburetor, and I noticed that it was stiff, so I shot some PB blaster down in there, and that loosened that back up. But man, just look at that. This gas was only a year old. Look what it did. I mean, all down in the carburetor. You guys can see it is just varnished up, sticky gas. So I guess I'm about to run over to the old Harbor Freight and grab a thing of brake clean and clean all of this up, man. Alright, no big deal, easy fix. But I guess since I'm in here, I might as well go ahead and adjust the clip on that carburetor, move it, the clip down a notch or two, so I can get more fuel into the carburetor, because, well, more fuel flow, because these things are never set right, especially for my desert climate. So let's just pull it out real quick before I go run down the road to Harbor Freight. So one little single screw down there. I don't know if you can see it. See that screw there? That holds down a little plate that holds in the carburetor needle. So let's go ahead and take that out real quick. It looks like it's on the top notch too, so it's definitely running lean as heck. As you know, over there in China, they're probably at a higher elevation than I am, in a more moist, humid climate. Definitely a more moist and humid climate than I'm running in. So, all right, take that apart. Alrighty, and here is an example that I was trying to tell one of my friends on Facebook, Mr. Casey Levy. There are some needles in carburetors that do not have adjustments. They are set. There are no notches. So there it is, a prime example of a needle without a notch. So it's non-adjustable. Now I might just take apart another 150cc carburetor, because you know I got dozens and dozens and dozens, and just find a needle that we can adjust on and put it in there. But let me run a Harbor Freight real quick, get that, and we'll be right back. Alright gang, I'm back. Decided to go to AutoZone instead. Got some brake clean, and I could have got some carb cleaner, but what's the big difference? They both clean, and I just need something clean. So got some shop towels too, because I'm fresh out. So let's go ahead and just take care of that real quick. Can't be in the shop without a shop towel, you know what I mean? So, there we go. I like these little magnetic towel holders from Harbor Freight, man. They're a US General brand. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, they magnetic, man. Just stick right on. What just fell? I'm over here tearing stuff up. All right. Yeah, man, I love these things, dude. Make it so easy. And they got the holder for the gloves, and I gotta get more because I'm fresh out of those too. Should have noticed that before I left. It's alright. I'm just gonna stick a little paper towel under the carb. I don't want to mess up my paint job. I'm a little wary of all chemicals and cleaners now, guys, since we have the oven clean debacle. So yeah, I don't want to mess up everything I just did. I'll just stick that under there real quick. Now, I have seemed to misplace the needle. Oh, there you go. All right. Like, where did I put everything else? Let's grab another piece of paper towel. I'm gonna clean that off real quick. All right. Spray a little on the rag. Clean this sucker off. Yeah, that should slide better. Put that inside out. A little more on there. Just go right inside the car and clean that out. Did I get it? Let's see how this slides in and out now. Now I was there at AutoZone. I should have picked up some white lithium grease while I was there, but oh well. I actually don't need none right now, so. Alright, that's sliding better now, so let's go ahead and I guess just spray the carb, because I did put a little bit of PB Blaster down in there, so which if anything, it'll just lubricate the top of the cylinder, because like I said, this bike sat for a while, but we did crank it in the last video. A little bit of crud right there at the end of the carburetor. I probably should have went ahead and threw this in the ultrasonic cleaner, but it is what it is. We just have to fight the fight that we set ourselves up for, right? Alright. Well, that is a lot of brake clean sitting right there in that cylinder, so if it don't fire up off of that, it's not going to fire up at all. Alright, stick our needle and everything back in. And get to the tank. That's what we're going to do next.
Yeah. You feel that? Kid, please. You're gonna make.
Alright, gang. I forgot to go in my stash box and grab another carb so I can show you guys the difference in a needle that it has notches and a needle that doesn't have notches. Here's our needle. I'm on focus GoPro. And you kind of can see it. It doesn't have a notch. It's one fixed position. And here's a needle that is notched. You can't see it, but there's ridges all up in here that this little clip can fit into. Trying to make the GoPro focus, but you know, about had it with GoPro, guys. They sent me a new one and it does about the same thing as the last one did. So alright guys, but you can't see it, but there's little notches for that C-clip to go in. You can tell there's a space difference in between this one. Now this carburetor came off my very first 150cc bike, and the reason I know that is because the top was painted black. Where did it go? I just took it off. Anyway, this thing is dirty as the dickens, man. I remember I got this bike from a guy, man, and it just like, it was covered in oil. It was really grody, really nasty. Yeah, that's crazy. I just had that top in my hand and I lost it just like that, man. My ADHD is kicking in hard this morning. Anyway, yeah, I remember this carb, guys. Like I said, the top that was on it was painted black. And I remember I adjusted this needle already, so it's all the way at the bottom, and memory serves me correctly. Maybe my memory don't serve me correctly, but I think that the bike ran great. So we're just gonna start there and we'll just move it up from that point. So all right guys, let me get this put back together and I will tune you right back in. I know some of y'all was probably screaming at the screen like, man, it's sitting right there. I mean, it was literally right there. But yeah, that's how I know it was my first carburetor, well, 150cc carburetor, because the guy I got it from, man, he sprayed everything black. And if I didn't have a title to that bike, I would have swore it was stolen. But yeah, guys, the actual first 150cc carburetor that I ever touched way back in 2015. Alright, enough of that. Let me get back to work. Guys, having two filters is pointless. You know, especially when they're the same filter. You're not going to filter it more than the first filter. You know what I'm saying? It's already clean fuel, so don't do this, guys. This is really just pointless. You're just wasting filters.
A few moments later.
Actually, no. Might be more crap in there. So I'm gonna eliminate on this second one here later, but I'm just gonna take this one off and clean it out. In fact, I'm just gonna cut this line because I'm getting tired of fighting with it. Yeah, I'm gonna clean it out and put it back on, and hopefully we can catch any crap that I didn't catch in this filter here. But right now I'm just gonna take the carb cleaner and reverse blow through it and get this crap out. Okay gang, spoiler alert. I don't know if you can see the smoke coming out the tailpipe, but it's a runner all over again. Yep, went ahead and did it off camera because you guys already know this thing runs. I told you, I showed you. So alright, our ignition is all wired up. I got this battery out of my friend's bike that's been sitting here at my house for Lord knows how long. You know, if he comes to get it, that'll make me actually happy because I need some more space for more projects. But anyway, this thing is super dead, so it's on charge. I got it hooked up to the make it start 3000. So let's go ahead and turn the key and let you guys see what I have already seen. Now, let's see what start first try. Oh yeah. Listen to it purr. Sounds really, really, really good. Now check that out. My speedo is tripping. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It was doing that when I got it, so probably gonna need a new speedo. So, oh well. But let's try and unplug this this piece, the speedo thing I just put on the wheel. See will that do anything? Nope, still tripping. Alright guys, well, it's running again. We always knew it would though, so I think the next thing I need to do is just go ahead and let's finish putting it together. I got to do something with this wire here. I think I'm just going to zip tie it to the brake cable all the way up. Do a couple more zip ties on it. Try to make it look best as I can. Now I do have to straighten up all these fuel lines, spark plug lines. This thing probably can be trimmed down, the spark plug wire. It's way too long. These need to be re-zip tied up. Now I had to come back in here because I wasn't getting any spark, and I realized, well, that I didn't have one of these bullet connectors all the way in, so that was an easy fix. And I guess next we got to wire up the tail light. I don't know if I showed you guys the tail light or not. We kicking it old school on this build. We got the knockoff R6 Yamaha R6 tail light that we're going to go ahead and put in our seat here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut the seat. The light should sit there, but we have all this here in the way, so I'm going to have to trim some of that out because I want to bolt it right here and put some nut zerts in there and be able to bolt this thing. Maybe put one up here too, so we can get that bolt hole to bolt in, and that's it guys. I mean, the bike is pretty much done. So I'm gonna give this battery a little time to charge because somebody outside the shed is trying to get my attention right now. So let me go see what the kids want, and I'll tap you guys back in when I make a little bit more progress. Okay gang, let me show you what I'm going to do real quick before I do it. I'm going to wire up our R6 tail light. You know, we're kicking it old school on this build. We're going to just use an old R6 tail light, mainly because it's cheap. So Amazon, like what, 16 bucks? So it is what it be. So this red wire is our brake wire. When you squeeze the handle of the brake, this is your brake line, brake wire, give you brake light. This is constant power, and of course that's your ground. But I'm having a issue out of the constant power, so I'm gonna have to figure that out real quick. And these other wires here are your signals off the R6 light. I don't know which one is left or right. Been a while since I've done it. And these are our brake light wires here. So pretty straightforward, you know. use a battery and the test light and just kind of figure out which ones are which, hook them to the according, you know, to the right one, and that's it, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire this tail light up and I'll tap you guys back in. All right, gang, got the tail light, or the integrated tail light, wired up. So turn the switch on. You can see the left blinker on that side because the light is going to sit that way, and right blinker. Now I figured out the why the brake light wasn't on. It doesn't come on until the bike is running. So let's crank the bike up and show you that real quick. Now I know to you guys it's flashing, but to me it's not. So I'm not going to show that for too long. I don't want to give nobody any epileptic shock. We got a tail light there and our right one there. All right, I should have put out an epileptic warning before I did that. So, all right, guys, now I know everything is good and the way it should be. I'm going to just run some heat across these solder connections and make them El Permanente and tape it all up. And then I'm going to take the tail light in the seat in the house, and I'm going to do it in the cool because it's hot out here. Yeah, I didn't even look at the forecast today, so I couldn't even tell you how hot it is, but it's nice and warm, trust me. Well, if I don't know how to do anything, I know how to make a mess. Man, look at that table. All right, but check it out. Got that tail light on, the OR6. We're kicking it old school on this build, guys. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, the seat is not perfect. There are some little blemishes in it, you know. The bike ain't perfect. There's blemishes all over this thing, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what scooter rehab is about, man. We're turning trash into treasure and doing it on the cheap, you know, doing it for the low. So, all right, check it out. Left blinker, here's a blinking, and the right blinker is a blinking. And let's see what this thing crank up now, because I've been in the house for about 2 hours. So key on. Hold on, need both hands. I need to tighten up that handlebar too. Ooh, right up. Tail light is not flashing, that's just the camera. And we got our left blinker. Alright, shut that thing down. Yeah, guys, I mean, man, I'm digging it, man. It's coming together. It's almost done. We almost there. Now, I decided to relocate the fuel pump because previous owner, or maybe not even him, it could have been done from the shop that he bought the bike from. The fuel pump was way up here on this bar, had a long fuel hose, and it was struggling. Now I see why they did it, because maybe they did it from China, I don't know, but there was no provisions for it here. Now you can tell this bike was probably a last minute deal, because look at that bar that is attached to it. Is crooked. I mean, severely crooked. But that's why I wasn't really too concerned, guys, about, going above and beyond on this build. I'm just trying out new things, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make something look cool as I can for the cheap. Now, I have about $75 invested in this, rehab right now, And then you add the price to what I originally paid for the bike, I'm in for really, really cheap. I don't like to let people know what I buy my things from, because the price I paid for it is between me and the seller, So, yeah, guys, but as far as this build, as what you're seeing from tail light to paint, I mean, I added the muffler a long time ago, but and when I first got it, but as far as for what I have done on these 2 videos is just paint and tail light, I'm 75 bucks in. you don't have to spend all your money to make something look cool. You know what I'm saying? So all right guys, now the battery box, I'm fixing the mount holes for the back half. So all I did was I wrapped them in tape, left the top end, and I filled the screw hole up with some plastic bonding epoxy. So I'm gonna let that dry maybe overnight. Come back in the morning, we're gonna slap the battery box back on, and we just gotta, like, you know, tighten up everything, you know, motor mount, bolts, shocks, everything needs to be tightened up, because I just roughly put everything on here in case we had a problem. Okay, so all right guys, I'm gonna see you guys back out here in the morning, and we're gonna finish this bad boy off and try to cut a corner with it. You know what I'm saying? All right, see you in the morning. Okay gang, got the CVT cover and the Kickstarter back on, and it's okay. It's got a little bad spot in it, but anyway, we're moving right along. Check this out guys, I decided to put an external jumping point, or jump starter point, jump wire, whatever you want to call this, on the battery cover. And here it is guys. I don't know where I got this little stud from, but it's the perfect little lead to stick your jumper cables on through your battery box. So I'll drill a hole in my battery box, and I'm gonna put a nut on the back side, and goes right to this wire here, and that way I don't have to take the battery cover off to jump start the thing if the battery goes dead, or just happens to be bad like the one I got. All right guys, check it out, just like that there. Now I did get smaller green O-rings and put in between here because the other one wanted to squish out, but I don't think that's gonna look half bad, you know. All right, you go ahead and get it on. All right guys, check it out. That thing does not look bad at all sitting right there. My little jump start nipple. And okay, I got my old trusty little battery jumper right here. A little jump starter. What is this, 750? Yeah, a Harbor Freight special. Hijacked this one from my dad, man. He ain't getting it back. All right, check it out. So we know my battery is no good, so now all I gotta do is just hook to my little jump point. I put the ground right onto the head of my engine. You know, no need for making two holes. All I need is that one lead, and that'll minimize me hitting something against that, sparking it, you know, whatever. Safety precautions, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, start right up, no whammies, no whammies. There we go. All right, well that worked guys. Okay, let's look at the bike now that she's all put together. See, I got my decal on the side, my Killer Bee, not to be confused with the Wu-Tang Killer Bee. Yeah guys, this is the theme. I didn't show you guys, I put my license plate bracket on, you know, the sideways one. I had it for a while, man. It's just, I don't know, somewhere I read that some states it was illegal, so I just took it off, but I don't care. You're going to have to give me a ticket to tell me to take it off this time. But yeah, as soon as I get it registered, tag going right there. But yeah guys, it looks decent. Now I'm kind of concerned about the fuel pump. We are going to have to do something about that. It's barely putting anything in the filter, and it might have something to do with the fact that there's two filters on here, and I said I was going to delete on one, but I didn't want to at the time because I need to see, was this thing actually pumping. It is, but weakly. Alright guys, the battery box is not perfect, you know. This bike was crashed. This side of the battery box was broken. I did fix it because I stepped on it, and the whole exhaust on this bike when I got it was knocked sheer off. Now I do have to do some work to the head, like replace it, because it doesn't have the two studs that come down out of the head for the exhaust. I actually drilled and tapped and put two 10mm bolts up from the bottom. So all right guys, let's get this thing out on the ground and let's take it for a spin. Oh, one other thing, I don't have the headlights in yet because, like I said, I blew my weekend budget before the weekend even started. So all right guys, let's go test drive this and wrap this video up. All right gang, Mad Dog's out in the alley, up and running, and check that out, the speedo started working. Imagine that. All right, see I got my jump box on, but it's running now, so we don't need it. Okay, gang, here we go. The bike is almost done. It's like 99% there. Man, check it out, man. It came out great. I'm truly digging this one. Now, this bike took me longer than any other project to complete, but looking at it right now, I couldn't be more happy with it. So yeah, guys, I swear I am really pleased with this one. I mean, that paint came out great. Those graphics, you know, everything flows. I'm really digging it. I'm loving the Killer Bee theme, everything about it, man. And the speedo started working again. I just can't believe it. Yeah, but all right, guys, we got a little bit more to do to the bike. You know, we need headlights. We definitely got to get some mirrors, you know. What else? Register it for one. I'm sneaking around right now. But yeah, guys, I mean, for what it is, for the, well, it's 85 bucks. I added it up. For the 85 bucks that I got into this thing, you know, that's besides what I paid for it. Came out really, really, really nice. So, all right, guys, I hope you like this video. I know it's a little bit long. I'm gonna try to edit it down some, but do me a favor, watch as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't make the best videos, but you know, I'm trying. So, all right, guys, I'll see you on the next one, and stay tuned. I got something coming up next you might like. All right, peace.